difficult to get out there and start dating again, just know that it is. It's kind of an odd place to be, particularly if you've been around a couple times. How many people are married more than once? How many people are married more than twice? How many people are married more than 3 times? This is an easy group. Let me tell you, the book is called Dating 101, second, third, fourth time around, because sometimes it takes a while to get that. So another question, how many people are actively dating? 20 minutes. I mean, my goodness. So you came to a dating convention to learn how to date, and nobody's actively dating. So what do you think the reason for that is?
Nobody actively.
Scared to death. And we're going to talk about that. Let me give you a little bit of history. I'll give you some of my background. My professional life goes way back, over 30 years. I've been a coach, a consultant, a trainer, a speaker for a very, very long time. And always had that part of my life together. My personal life, quite frankly, was not quite that congruent. I got married at 18, got divorced, I got married, I got divorced. I got married, and I got divorced. That's 3 if you're counting. My goodness, if you've ever been married, just promise yourself you're not going to get divorced again, because it's awful. It's difficult, and it takes time to get back out there, time to figure out what the heck happened, particularly if one side of your life is really working, you cannot figure out why the rest of your life isn't. It gets very, very confusing. So what I did for myself is I really went inside, because what I realized that if I continued to do what I was doing, I was going to be an Elizabeth Taylor lookalike. No question. So I had to see what was really the same thing in all those marriages, and guess what? The common denominator was in all of those marriages, it was me. And if there's one thing that has to change, it was me. And I promise you that you will too. If you're serious about finding love and about finding relationships, dating is the dance to love and relationship. So it has to begin with dating. Let me just say one thing really quick. For those of you, and it's almost everyone, who did not raise their hand as you're actively dating, I want you to put your hand on your heart right now, on your heart, and say, I am ready to date. I am ready to date. Okay, touch the person next to you and look in their eyes and say, I am ready to date. I am ready to date. I don't even need one of you. And you have to be accountable to someone, anyone, even a stranger, and say, I am ready to do that. Because the next thing I have to commit to is to make a real decision. The other thing I want to ask you to commit to is to make a real decision to change. Because you will change your beliefs, your judgments, your assumptions, probably your dress for some of you, your communication styles. You'll get rid of your fears, and you will, in fact, be different. And then you'll be able to attract that other person. All the things that Nina said about the people we bring in that aren't appropriate for us, part of that is because we're not appropriate for them. There's a great story that Marianne Williamson tells. Anyone know who she is? She wrote this wonderful book, Return to Love. It was a bestseller for a long time. She did a workshop with, I don't know, like 600, happened to be all women at the time, so I'm going to make clear that this is all women, but the men can hear it too. And she says, okay, ladies, I know what you do. You make this list. You make this list of the person, the ideal person you want to bring in, and you have this criteria for who he is and how it's going to make your life better. And you put the lid and you say to God, okay, God, send me this person. And guess what happens? Nothing. How many of you have made this list? And guess what? Nothing happens. So then you wait a while, you kind of do some good things, and you say, okay, God, I'm really good. I'm a good person. And guess what happens? Nothing. And then she turns to the audience and she says, okay, ladies, let's get real. If this person showed up, would he date you? Ooh. Yeah, because if you become that list, if you become what you want, if you become all the things that you're asking God to send you, if you become from the inside out that person, guess what? They will show up. And I don't know the numbers, I don't know the percentages, I know we all say there are no good men, there are no good women, it's all nonsense. And that's what Nana said too. It's not true. We just have to become that person so we can bring that person into our life. So let's talk for a minute. Oh, one more thing. Oh, yeah, another thing. Put your hand on your heart. I am choosing to change.
I am choosing to change.
Touch that person next to you. I am choosing to change. Okay, so what do you think stops us flat? What do you think is the biggest fear we have of getting out and having fun? You know, it's just a date, it's not the rest of your life. It's just a journey of creating a life that's single, that works for you. And that's what my book is all about. When I wrote the book, my whole intention was to give someone some kind of model that they can use to say, you know, it's not about the future, it's about me becoming what I want to become today so I can create a life that works for me today. And that's all this is, and that's what this whole conversation is about. But there are certain things that stop us. And what do you think that is? What's the biggest thing that stops you? Fear of rejection. Absolutely. And there are lots of fears. Let's talk about rejection. Because the truth is, you will be rejected. And it has nothing to do with who you are. I was fortunate enough to be on the Today Show. I picked up a program that Katie Couric had that was called Finding Love After 40. And I was their kickoff speaker on Monday morning. And she brought that up. And she said, what about rejection? How do you get out that next day when you've just been turned down by the person you thought was going to be the love of your life, or he didn't call you back, or she didn't answer your call, or for whatever women said, whatever, Michael, as you and I had chatted. What do you do? I promised not to do that. And I did. It just slipped out. But you were a friend, right? So what do you do? So the question is, what do you do? Because in fact, you will be rejected. And what we said, what I said to Katie, you know, it's not personal. They want apples and you're oranges. It has nothing to do with you. It's really what you do about that feeling of rejection.